Woo! Okay, not a unicycle. We've established this. So this has been about 3 years in the making. And so, needless to say, I am super excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for coming. We're here from Santa Cruz, California, which is a long way away. But the first time that Kyle and I ever came to New York, we were sitting in a cafe. Kyle's looking at his phone. He looks up and he says, "We need to shoot with this guy." So he shows me the feed. He says, "This guy Novice is amazing, absolutely amazing." He shows me this. I look at it and I agree in the way that you agree to things that you think are never going to happen. I say, like, yeah, for sure, we should definitely shoot with him. This is 2015. No one's ever seen a Onewheel before, right? The next day, Kyle's in Washington Square Park, and this kid walks up to him and is like, "Hey, man, what's that?" And, of course, Kyle has a Onewheel with him. He looks over, and this kid has a camera that's like half the size that he is. It turns out that's Novice, right? That's this guy we were just talking about the day before. And Novice's name is Ryan, and Ryan is the youngest photographer to ever be sponsored by Canon. He's an absolute legend. And to his credit, he's down to go shoot with us the next day. So I'm on a Onewheel, Ryan is skating, and we just are flowing through New York, no stopping. What we get, we get. What we don't get, it's fine. And the energy's amazing. I had never seen New York City like this ever before, right? I knew the photos were amazing before I even got back. Hot fire. And went to the skate park, which I never do, but we nailed it. So I get back to dinner with Kyle, and I'm just like, I'm high on life, right? And Kyle just sort of like lets me rant, and he lets that sink in. And he says, and I'll never forget this, he says, "You know, Jack, there's going to be a day where people are this excited to shoot with us. And when that day comes, that's when we need to give back, and that's when we need to bring all our friends with us." And that's why I'm excited you guys are here. Ryan's actually in the front row. He's also in the launch video. But it's these human connections that this product has sort of an uncanny ability to create and foster and multiply that I think is so special. You know, and so this is 5 years ago. There's been 10 million miles ridden on Onewheels since then. 10 million miles. That's like to the moon and back, something like 20 times. Don't fact check me, but it's probably close. But that's incredible. Tens of thousands of Onewheelers in the world. Tens of thousands of new ones every day. That's also not true. But there's a lot, but it's significant, right? And I think at the end of the day, it's not the numbers. It's the moments this product has created, which a lot of you have experienced firsthand too. I just want to show you guys, for the hype, I just want to show you guys a few of my favorite clips over those 5 years, over those 10 million miles. So this is Ukraine. This is in Kiev, Ukraine. What do you do in Kiev, Ukraine? Well, you go Onewheel powered wakeboard towing, wake surfing, I don't know what you call it. Incredible. This is a Maasai warrior in Kenya, riding a Onewheel. According to the Instagram, he absolutely crushed this, and he's obviously having an amazing time. This is our friend Derek.
Of riding.
Ross,
it's like freedom, like
amputee, lost a leg fighting in Afghanistan. Onewheel for him has been an amazing outlet, a way to
because I wanted to ride. Got me out of
a way to find some freedom and a way to move around. We actually went in a helicopter over CES with Derek into like some crazy canyons in outside of Las Vegas. Incredibly fun, awesome story. This is this with the release of the Onewheel Plus XR. Now there's more range, right? It's sort of industry-leading range, 20 miles. The adventures grow, the connections multiply. This is my friend Tucker, amazing photographer.
All right, thank you so much.
This is crossing the border between Seattle, Washington, and Vancouver, British Columbia. 140 miles, self-supported. Him, his backpack, his Onewheel. He brings the heat all the time. This is a photo he took a couple weeks ago. This is in Utah. Are you kidding? If you don't believe me, there's a Onewheel right there. This is an event held every year in Asheville, North Carolina, by the Onewheel community. Hundreds of people came to this last year, and they just it's like a music festival. It's like some strange sort of like Burning Man Onewheel stuff going on. We had nothing to do with it. This is like what people are doing on their own. It's like thinking back to that first time that we were here, never saw any of this coming, right? Pretty unbelievable. And it takes me back to my favorite photo that Ryan and I ever shot riding around these streets here. So this is in Chinatown, and we're riding. We kind of stopped for a second, and this chef was taking a smoke break, and he's kind of looking at us, and I was like, you wanna hop on this thing, and he kind of hesitated. So I went over and let him get on it, and let's zoom in here a little bit. A little pixelated, but this is, I have reason to believe this is the most pure joy that this man has expressed in years. And and if you can create this, I believe it's your obligation to bottle that up and to multiply it and spread it throughout the world. And that is why we're here today, and that's why I'm super excited about this product that we have for you guys. So, with that said, I'm going to pass it along to Kyle Doerksen, our founder. Yep. This works.
It clicks.
Yeah.
All right. Great to see everyone here this morning. This is the product that we have on the market today. Some of you guys probably ride it. It's amazing. It's the Onewheel Plus XR. It goes 18 miles on a charge, all-day riding. It's a true vehicle replacement. It's really a premium product, and we worked for years to really build something that could replace your car, that could go really fast, that could climb mountains, could do all these things. And it costs $17.99, and people love it. This is the board that I ride every day, and it's epic. But I wanted to step back a little bit, because we're here to talk about products, but I'm reminded of a story when Jack and I were working one of the first trade shows that we ever did with Onewheel. My wife was working with the booth with us too. It was the early days. And we spent all day explaining to people how it works, and that, there's a gyro and there's a motor and all this stuff. And people often have similar questions. And then at the end of the day, this 11-year-old girl and her handlers come up to the booth, and she says, I understand exactly how it works, but my real question is why. And I thought it was worth reflecting on that a little bit more, and just where this product came from and what it's all about. I started working on what became Onewheel around 2008, and I was tinkering in my garage, and really I wanted to create an experience, use technology to create an experience that felt kind of like snowboarding or surfing, but really was a magical experience. You could just lean forward and ride forever. And so one of the cores of Onewheel, of course, is the ride experience. And it's also the learning experience and the sharing experience. Anyone who's ridden one, people stop you on the street and they're like, what is that? And can I try it? Which is pretty incredible. Another motivation of mine when I was first working on it, of course, was going places. So I wanted to build something that was small enough to pick up and take with me. I used to work at this design firm where we had a San Francisco office on a pier, and I'd take the train up to San Francisco and then have about a mile walk to the office. And I was always running late, and I was always daydreaming, what if I had a little something I could pick up and take with me, and then let me zoom to where I need to go. And so that was kind of going through my mind in the early days. And now you're really seeing this realization that people are starting to understand that small electric vehicles are really amazing tools to go places, and you're seeing all kinds of different form factors pop up and really log a lot of miles. And then the other big motivation was really board sports and stoke and flow and just the experience you have. I mean, you definitely can't take a skateboard and ride that trail, right? Onewheel unlocks these lines through the world that they're just really fun. They can be pretty aggressive, and you can tackle some stuff that's challenging and exciting. And so if you think about those kind of three main things. A lot of the development that we've done over the last year is going from Onewheel to Onewheel Plus, where we added more power, and then to Onewheel Plus XR, where we added to the more power, more range, has really been this like single direction or single limb of the family tree of Onewheels. And we've sort of had to, because we're a startup, build one product that meets the needs of all people, kind of one size fits all. But today, what we're really introducing is like a branch of the Onewheel family tree, and it's sort of a different direction. We're going to keep going, of course, in the faster, bigger, farther, and progressive direction. But there's other things that we want to try to enable, and really these top two. So really build products that allow people to enjoy the learning experience and to fit into their lives to go the places they need to go. So today we're introducing Pint. And Pint looks like this. Thank you. So it's smaller, as the name probably hinted. It's refined, and it's really this little shred bot that can fit into your life. You can take it with you, and we'll talk about some of the features that make it particularly compelling for both transportation and for beginner riders. And I think experienced one-wheel riders are also going to want one for their quiver, because it's a little bit different riding experience. So the first thing that you notice is that it's smaller. And if you've spent time around Onewheels, you know that you would rather be riding them than carrying them. And so we really focused on decreasing the weight, making it more compact, and making it easier to take with you. The core, and this is what I'm talking about with the core. The core of Onewheel is pure joy. I mean, we get a lot of questions from people that are the kind of basics of how fast and how far, but if you've ridden a Onewheel, you know that that stuff's all really secondary. I mean, yeah, you need to have all those features and specs, but it's the ride experience that just puts a smile on people's face, and people just want to get out and ride. So the core, brief really for Pint was to create a more approachable Onewheel, and more approachable in some different ways. In one sense, it's more approachable to beginner riders. When we started this, there were no one-wheel riders in the world, so we're familiar with building stuff that people need to learn how to use, and so we've done a number of things to make it easier to learn. But also more approachable in some other ways. Obviously, the design, is refined. It's a little softened. It's much more, product-y versus the sort of Onewheel Plus, Onewheel Plus XR lineage has been, a very sort of engineering-centric, just powerful and, nothing too designy about it. So I think we'll just keep moving through this. So small is beautiful. You probably noticed the truck back there. That was a bit of a muse when we were designing this thing, just realizing that smaller products they always get this great reaction from people, but they can also have sort of outsized practicality, right? So that truck was actually designed for the small roads of Japan, so that farmers and workers could drive around in a truck that fit their needs. And so really with Pint, we had a similar kind of idea. It's about 2.5 inches shorter than a Onewheel Plus XR. It's about an inch narrower, and the tire is a little bit smaller in both the width and the diameter. And you kind of see it head to head here. It doesn't necessarily look like a huge difference, but once you actually live with it and you ride it and you try taking it with you, you realize that that really matters. But even more than the size, we worked to make something that was just manageable for people. And so one of those innovations that's new in Pint is called the mag handle. So the mag handle is actually a handle that fits into the coved space on the side of the wheel, and it folds out when you need to carry it. And when you're done carrying it, you're ready to ride, there's actually a magnet that holds it back in place so it doesn't rattle around when you're riding. And it's a really unobtrusive way to integrate a handle. We've always tried to avoid anything that really like hangs off the side or the bottom or the front. And so the mag handle is really, really great because when you're not using it, you don't even notice it's there. But then when you need it, it folds out, and it makes carrying the Onewheel a lot easier, and especially for smaller people. Anyone who's sort of under 6 feet, it talks about how they wish they had some other ways to carry the Onewheel products that we've had before. So it just makes taking your Onewheel with you a no-brainer. We've watched the learning progression, the early learning progression of people learning how to Onewheel many, many times, and it kind of goes like this. First thing people figure out how to do is ride in a straight line. Second thing people figure out how to do is how to turn. Third thing they sometimes struggle to figure out how to do is how to get off the board. So, we've always had a few ways to do that. You can lift your heel, you can jump off the board with both feet. But, simple stop is something that we've worked on for a while, where all you have to do if you have simple stop enabled is just lean back, and the board automatically will set the tail down. So it's just super, super easy, and it makes that learning curve just that much easier. And I think it's something that people are really going to love. It's an option that you can turn on and off within the Onewheel app, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I just want to show it again because I think it's cool. And this is kind of last major new feature of Pint. So this is something called Light Bar, and from the earliest Onewheels, really had this sense that we wanted a ride experience that was not mediated by technology. It really you could ride a Onewheel and not know that it was motorized or electronic. But as we've evolved, we realized, it would actually be pretty helpful to have some more feedback on the product. And so Light Bar, is a row of LEDs that are under the foot pad, and they actually act as a battery status display. They confirm that your foot pad is fully engaged when you're getting ready to ride, and a lot of other helpful things. So it's just tucked right in there between the wheel and the front foot pad. And so at a glance, you can tell your battery status and other things about how you're riding. Plus, we just think it looks cool, especially at night. Color. So until now, we've had sort of a Henry Ford-ish approach to color, which is any color you want as long as it's blue. And now, for the first time, we're introducing some color options for the frame rails, and a lot of other color options for the accessories, as we just recently introduced for XR, if you've seen that. So Pint comes in two core colorways, which are sand on this side and slate on the far side. And for the launch, for the next 7 days, we have a limited edition sage colorway, which is this beautiful green color in the middle. It's a powder-coated finish, so it's very durable. And it looks beautiful, and I really think that these colorways kind of take this product into new territory in the whole light electric vehicle world, which has historically always been about technology and performance and cost, and this is really much more about design and connecting with people's preferences. And it looks pretty good in motion too.
Oh. What is that?
Introducing Pint.
Hey, does that have a motor?
Not that kind, that kind.
Where can I ride it?
Here, not here, but here.
Whoa.
Is it easy to learn?
Oh yeah.
Does it need a remote?
Nope, just lean forward.
How do you stop?
Lean back, forward, stomp it.
Hey, do a kickflip.
Can you take it with you?
Of course.
You think this is gonna go viral?
Yo, they posted our clip.
Heard it costs less than a smartphone.
Really?
Really?
My kid's gonna love it.
Yeah, you got it.
But as it feels, a bit of it hurts.
Unbelievable.
So that's Pint. Back to some of the basics. It does go up to 16 miles an hour. It goes 6 to 8 miles on a charge. It weighs 23 pounds, and it supports riders up to 250-pound rider weight. This, though, is one of the key messages. So this is the first time we've ever introduced a Onewheel that is under $1,000. And this is something we've worked on for years, really. Onewheel kind of evolved, as I mentioned. People wanted more performance, and so we gave it to them, and that kind of drove the price point higher. But we really wanted to make something that is approachable, is accessible, and that is in a budget that people can afford. And we think that $950 is a pretty incredible price point for, this is really our 4th generation board. So it's everything that we've learned about how to make Onewheels boiled down into this more compact package and price point. And if you go to our website, you can also finance the board with Klarna, starting at $59 per month, which pretty much is cheaper than everyone's cell phone. So how do we make it cheaper? I think a lot of people thought, oh, you'll get achieve a little bit of success with this, and then you'll take your manufacturing to China, and that's how you'll bring the cost down. Well, we're never much for conventional wisdom. I spent 4 years trying to take a few wheels off of a skateboard. So we've decided that our approach is to double down on U.S. manufacturing. And so we are building a huge new factory in San Jose, California. Conveniently, it's also an awesome place to ride before we put all the assembly lines in there. This was a couple months ago. But this is going to be the largest light electric vehicle manufacturing facility in the United States. And yeah, we're just excited to keep that business in our backyard. But don't take our word for it. We went out and rode with a good friend of ours, the musician Tycho, up in San Francisco. He got some of the first views and feet-on ride experiences with Pint. So I'll roll this.
But watch them come up slowly, like each one. This stuff is all classic, like these are 1970s Beatles Abbey Road compressor. This is an SSL console, some channels from an SSL console in the compressor, API. These ones are actually kind of new school. I did graphic design for a living for a long time, and I would say that about design stuff, because like I did it on a timeline for a client. This stuff, like most of this, I've been working on this album for 18 months, so it's kind of like every song has had like literally 30 straight days of working, Yeah. And then at the end you go and you arrange it and you're picking out all these details, and then you mix it and you're picking out all these details, and by the time it's done, it's kind of like, it's beyond yeah, exactly. It's beyond just like in the moment. It's like everything's been thought. It's sometimes maybe overanalyzed, you know what I mean?
Okay. So this is Onewheel Pint.
Wow.
So it's like a mini little shred device.
I love the beveling, like the roundness of it. Eventually I want like a fleet of these things on tour.
Less than $1,000.
No way. I was afraid. I was like, oh man, now I have these two obsolete things. It's like, no, those are a different thing to me. Like those, I still want I want both, basically. This is like the nimble city, go to the store. The other one's like, let's go cruising. I love that the cutout is the shape of the tire now. It looks so much more like designed around the tire. Oh, it's easier to dismount.
Let's go ride those things.
Ready? Good boy.
like a product. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, the other one felt like an experiment. This is just like, oh, here, this is a thing. This is so cool.
So ordering is now open at onewheel.com. You can check it out there. And we anticipate shipping within the next couple of months. Accessories are another big thing with our ecosystem now. You know, one of the first accessory we ever came out with for Onewheel was a fender. Because a lot of people look at this and they say, wow, you know, shouldn't there be like a cover over the wheel? And you know, from a safety perspective, you know, there's never any issue. But from, you know, the fact of the matter is, half of the year is fender weather. So you want a fender just to keep, you know, water and dust and dirt from kicking up. So Pint, we have a fender, which is available for it. That's probably going to be a very popular upgrade. It's available in a wide variety of colors, Pint-specific colors, as are the bumpers. So you can really customize Pint, you know, from day one. You choose your rail color, you choose from some of these beautiful color options for the different parts of it, and you can really make it your own. Mag handle, we talked a little bit about this. So the mag handle itself is actually available in that same variety of colors. And then we also have an upgrade option available, which is an aluminum handle with rubber overmolded on it. And so it's super sturdy, and it's even more comfortable for carrying the board. So someone who's going to be a daily commuter or something like that, you know, might want to pick that up. And that is the Mag Handle Pro. The app, some of you may be familiar with the Onewheel app. So Pint fully supports the app. Within the app, if you're not familiar with it, you can change how the board rides using digital shaping. You can see how much battery you have, see how far you've ridden, see how much farther you can ride. You can record your rides and compete with other people on a leaderboard. You can get tutorial videos and all kinds of fun stuff. And that's fully supported with Pint as well. I got to go back to the dinosaur because I really like the dino here. I just want to put it on screen for a little bit. But that's it. Grab a pint. You can grab a Onewheel pint at onewheel.com. You can grab a pint of ice cream in the back. We were just getting set up with that. And thank you very much.